Ooh, yeah. Dig it, brothers. Whoops. Going to play my second game of the Marshall's Connected franchise. Finally. Gonna do it. It's been a while since I played with this team, but that's okay. Kind of want to talk about life in general. Something I've dealt with my whole life with, which is anxiety, which is a mental illness. I'm kind of dealing with it right now. And it sucks, I haven't dealt with it in a while. I've gotten a lot better with it. But for some reason decided to make its presence known these last couple days. And I've dealt with it my whole entire life. I was born with it. It's an imbalance in the brain called serotonin. And my levels are too high, so I take medicine for that. Also been to therapy twice. 2 years. A year each. And that really helped me. More so than a medicine. Learning different tools and such like that. And it's been a long journey. And I hate when a breakthrough happens, because I'm like, oh, I've made it so far, and then, oh, here it is again. I feel like I can't do anything. I feel like a failure. I feel down. Even I have no reason to. Everything's fine. It's the holidays. I have no real stressors in my life. Nothing to really worry about, but yet I still do. So I don't know how many people out there have anxiety problems. It's actually, the numbers have grown astronomically. Given what they put in our food and all that kind of stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But dealing with it it's been a struggle. From as long as I can remember. Elementary school, middle school was pretty rough. High school got better. Then once I got out of high school and had to take on more responsibilities, it got crazy. It got crazy out of control. I was in a long relationship, and then that ended abruptly. And then that's when it got even worse. That's when I had my first real panic attack. Throwing up the whole 9 yards. Nice pick six, Jimmy Smith. Feeling sick to your stomach, not wanting to get out of bed. But therapy, learning how to do yoga, reading about yoga, which you told me that 3 years ago, I'd probably smack you in the face that I was going to do yoga one day. I like going to the gym a lot, so I thought yoga was BS, but once I really read up on it and learned about it, it definitely has helped, without a shadow of a doubt. Another thing that sucks is I developed asthma from anxiety, which you can, because it restricts your breathing, and that of course can cause what is known as asthma. It's acute, but it's still there. And I think because I haven't had my inhaler in a long time, it could just be in my head that's what's causing it.
Quick drop back. Here's Colston. Trufant's in on the tackle.
But if you have anxiety or depression or any mental illness, it can be cured. You just gotta take those steps to cure it. And it's not easy. Nobody wants to admit they have a problem. But the sooner you do, and the sooner you go to your doctors, bad encouragement. But once you do, and take that step to go to the doctors and figure out the steps still to really get yourself better. And don't just take the doctors unless you feel like your doctors are really, really good and knows what they're talking about, which a lot don't. Fortunately for me, mine's really good, and so I have full trust in her, and then I have full trust in my therapist to help me. So the tools have helped big time. Settle it. I mean, it never goes away, but it settles it where I can catch it before it worsens itself. But don't be afraid to I'm a huge advocate of not taking medicine. I hate taking medicine. I won't take an Advil or a ibuprofen, whatever, unless my headache is absolutely excruciating or the pain. Well, if I have a muscle cramp or ache or a bone, whatever, I won't take it. Nothing. But if I have an excruciating headache, then yeah, I will take. That's the only way I'll take ibuprofen. Is when I can't take it any longer. But yeah, definitely. If you have a mental illness of any sort, don't be afraid to go to the doctors. You're not gonna it's not gonna make you any less of a person to go get help. I was stubborn for so long until it got to the point where I was having a really bad anxiety attack over the dumbest reason. And I was like, yeah, I have to go today. I don't care who I have to see. I don't care. Whatever, I'm going. Because I had a fear of the doctors. I fortunately passed out multiple times in hospitals and doctor settings, so that increased my anxiety there. And the last time I went, my blood pressure was actually normal for once. I was practicing yoga and breathing techniques and meditation, all that stuff, which I've been slacking on, which I also think is yet again another contribute to why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling the last couple days. But I picked it back up, been hitting the gym hard, and you would think that would contribute it, but it's probably like a lesson to me saying, hey, you need to stick with this. Which I do, because I was feeling so good for so long, I just kind of got lazy and didn't do it. But I feel like I definitely do. Well, I know I definitely do. There's no feeling about it. But go get help immediately. Don't turn to drugs. Don't turn to alcohol. Nothing like that. Go to the doctors. You can get real help. That's only if you want it. If you don't want it, eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, yeah, I have to go and get it. Otherwise, you're going to be hating life for a long time, which I've never been a depressed person. Always been happy and pretty outgoing. A lot more outgoing now that, I know my condition and I'm informed about it and stuff like that, but yeah, just don't let it ever take you. I don't know if anybody's watching a Madden thing's worried about anxiety or whatever, but yeah, don't let it ever take you. Figure it out. Go to the doctors and tell them your story. Just be 100% honest, even if it scares you. Scary situation. I mean, it's your body and you don't know what's going on with it. You can assume, you can read articles on the internet and stuff like that, and it seems like every symptom's the same with every type of disease. So, to actually get down and sit with somebody with an objective point of view outside of your inner circle and really hone down on what's wrong with you.
First down coming up.
And everybody has something, some sort of, whether it's dyslexia or could be something minor, like really acute Tourette's, syndrome, you know, or something like that, or OCD, or as long as it doesn't control your life, then, you know, that's that's perfectly fine if you know how to control it. But if you don't know how to control it, it's controlling your life like it was me, and like it does me sometimes if I let it. Which I'm trying my ass off not to let it, but yeah, if you really let it control your life, go get the help. Don't be afraid to go get the help.
It was a completion by the quarterback, and it picked up a couple yards.
Offense lines up here. 2nd and 12. Looking to the right side and throwing. Smith's able to swing the pass away.
You're never too macho or too much of a man or a woman to not go to the doctors and not take care of yourself. This life is too short not to live 100% as often as you can. The cycle of life, you go through your ups and downs. It's just the way it is. Whether it's the smallest thing or the biggest thing, it's gonna happen. You're gonna go through your ups and downs and all that. And a lot of watch a lot of various YouTube videos of guys or people, women, guys that I enjoy watching have helped me, like Elliot Hall's, RSD Tyler, talking about life lessons, stuff like that. He's more of like a pickup artist, which is cool. It's his thing, but he talks about a lot of life lessons and being congruent with yourself and stuff like that. And you know, if you're in a downer mood, just tell the person you're talking to you're in a downer mood, and don't be afraid to really give it your all. Give yourself 100%, and then leave that 100% for that day. Whatever your 100% is, 100% is different for everybody. So whatever your 100% is, give that, and then leave it on the table that day or that night. Go to bed, wake up, and pick up something, and pick it up as a new day, something new, and leave the rest of it behind. Keep moving forward. And don't think about what the future can hold. Just control what you can control now, and the future will present itself how it's going to present itself, depending on what you do on your day-to-day. You can have, of course you want to have goals. You know, I wanted my degree, I wanted to have a good job, you know, the white picket fence, the nice house, you know, all that. But, you know, there's really no time frame, given we live in such a, the world changes all the time. I mean, we move so fast now with data and everything that you never know what you're going to do next on the next day. Sometimes you just got to be thankful that you're waking up the next day healthy and feeling good, and able to, you know, just get up and move and be lively and see your friends and family, and well, family most important, but yeah, and be at peace with yourself. You know, look in the mirror each day and have a smile on your face. That's really important in life. That's the only way you can really see yourself is in the mirror. So you look at yourself and just tell yourself you're doing okay. Yeah, you're not at the point where you'd like to be, but you're doing okay. You're taking steps to get there, even if it's really, really tiny, small steps. You're taking steps to get there. You're not going to get that high-paying job right away. You're not. I mean, it's very rare. A lot of times you have to work your butt off, or you get to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody to get the job, or you know, just don't rush it. That's what's going to cause your stressors to go up way more, and for you to have a you know, something really go wrong with you. And I've been stressing about being in between jobs right now, and it being seasonal and not getting hired anywhere, and then, you know, trying to finish up school and everything like that. And that's my own personal goals. My family has my back 100%, and some people aren't fortunate enough to have that if they have a disease. And yeah, it really sucks, but trust me, if you have to go alone, that doctor is going to understand what you're going through. That's why they studied for so long. That's why they're doing the job that they're doing, because they will have to do it because they really don't get paid the amount that they should be getting paid, given the circumstances of what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Leans on his tight end this time. Jimmy Graham with the catch.
Well, I guess the best thing to say there, Jim, is they completed a pass, but it still did not get a first down.
So yeah, trust yourself and learn how to. I mean, there's so much information out there. You can take whatever for what it's worth, but I mean, learn your body. Learn how to learn your body. Take your time to really sit down and meditate and be within yourself, and it's difficult at times. I mean, I don't really have any demons, but if you have major demons, that's gonna be a really difficult time. Is laying there and trying to let go of your thoughts. It's really rewarding in the end, but I mean, it's difficult, and it takes a lot of practice. I noticed I lost some of that practice when I hadn't been doing it for a while. When I just did my meditation today, because a lot of times I'll fall asleep while listening to the person speak. It's called Yoga Nidra, which is basically meditation for calmness. And yeah, sometimes I'll fall asleep, but this time I didn't. My heart was still racing and everything, so. But it did help me calm down a lot. And I was on one type of medicine for a long time, and then I had a breakthrough with that medicine. Excuse me. And this time, so I had panic attacks for 6 days in a row. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and have a panic attack. And you know, that was rough. That was rough for my family. I think it's more rough for my family to see me go through that than it was for me. And you know, it sucks. And I think a lot of people who turn to drugs and drinking a lot have some type of mental thing going on, whether it is depression or anxiety about life. Because that transition from when you turn 18 and get out of high school to, you know, 24, 25, 26, to where you're getting, you know, looking to move out and get a house and get a, you know, big person job, whatever you want to call it, and all that is huge. You know, it's expected, because that's just, you know, it's just our natural thing that we do now. It's to get out, you know, and spread your wings. Just nature's law. I mean, that's what lion cubs do eventually once they learn all their techniques that their mother teaches them, and they're out on their own. Wow, that was not the hen, that was the bee. That was the Julio. But yeah, until they're out on their own, they don't know, you know, they learn all the techniques, and if they don't learn the techniques fast enough, then the mother just shuns them off. But fortunately for us, we don't have, you know, well, some parents do that, others don't. But if you have been shunned off because maybe your decision making has been skewed by a mental illness or excuse me, whatever, take that step. Really take that step. It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Because I've never felt better. I've never felt better in social situations and just every day-to-day situations. It was a point where it was just day-to-day situations, and social situations were still a little bit tough. Now social situations are a lot easier. Being in big crowds are a lot easier. Being stuck somewhere has gotten easier, which was my biggest thing, was like being at a job and having to be there, and I put so much pressure on myself to do such a good job and to be there and be in the moment that I would just drive myself crazy. And I couldn't work for quite a period of time because of that, I really screwed myself by not getting help.
Come on to the field for their next series.
And I believe in fate and everything. So it was meant to happen the way it happened. I wish I would have gotten help when I was in school, but it happened the way it happened. And I've learned a lot within the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It'll actually be 3 years next July, or this upcoming July.
It's now 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard rush. 2-minute warning.
But yeah, I just it's been really crappy the last couple days. I don't know why.
After the 3-yard rush.
Just kind of came out of nowhere.
Shorts in the slot.
I guess not really taking care of myself the way I should be. Not the greatest diet. Hitting the gym and trying to get the diet straight back again, but at the same time, it hasn't been the greatest, so it's been, another transition period I guess my body's getting used to. And I think my asthma is acting up as well, like I said before. And that's me knowing my body. And knowing, how my body reacts to things now that I know, what's wrong with me and stuff like that. Good sack. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different techniques out there that you can do to really help yourself that really do work if you believe in it. Of course, if you don't believe in it and don't give it your all, then it's not going to work. I guarantee it's not going to work. If you go in there with an open mind and say, okay, I'll try this. I have no problem trying this. I'm going to give it my all. You'll get something out of it without a doubt. But if you're not willing to, then you're really shit out of luck.
First down here.
That's the biggest thing, is going in with no expectations and coming out with a ton of answers. That's what it's really about, and learning. Learning about yourself. And I used to hate that I was such a sensitive person, but now I've learned to embrace it. And people actually like that about me, which is pretty cool.
Second down. Snapping out of the gun. He's looking to the right here on this throw. And they get to him at the 45.
So yeah, learn about yourself, and don't the qualities that you hate, learn to love. Makes things easier. It's not easy to do, but when you finally do it, it makes things easier for sure.
He'll take the snap from the gun.
Come on, Julio.
Defense takes possession.
Well, the one thing we know about the NFL, when you have the football in your hands, they are going to attack it. You got to know that as a ball
carrier. Yeah, anxiety is a hell of a disease, and if you've never been through it, it's
first down at the 43.
It's hard to explain because it makes no sense, and trust me, I know it makes no sense whatsoever. It is like the silliest thing, and it's hard to explain to others. But it's such a debilitating disease for somebody, because it's something in your mind that you can't control. You don't want to feel that way, but you have absolutely no choice but to. And that's what sucks.
The Saints come out in the pistol. He'll fire it out to the left. Incomplete.
And that's the worst part about it, is that you can't. There's a way to calm it and keep it within yourself, but it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a continuous practice. You can't it won't just stop. It will be there, and it'll remind you, because it's reminding me now. It will remind you, for sure. And the people who turn to alcohol and stuff like that, I've had family members who've done that and, unfortunately passed away from it because it got so out of hand. But, yeah, the people who turn to alcohol, it's only a crutch. It's only a little bit of a crutch for a little bit of time, and then you got to wake up the next morning and you're going to feel like crap again and again and again and again until you really decide to do something about it. I finally started drinking alcohol, not much, but just to enjoy it. I found beer that I really like and stuff like that, and kind of got into that aspect of it, of IPAs and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, I finally kind of taken care of this whole mess. I think I deserve a beer, and I finally drank one, and I was like, it's not that bad. I felt fine from it and everything else, but I noticed if I have a little bit too much to drink, that it definitely affects my anxiety, and I can feel it the next day. And plus, the effects from alcohol are increased due to my medicine, which of course isn't good either. But yeah, the biggest thing is to just take the step. Take that one step. It can be a huge step for your life forward for many years. And yeah, you'll probably have to go back and keep going back and get things straight, from year to year. But if that taking the 15-20 minutes to go see your doctor, or however long, for you to be healthy and happy for a long time, then that's way worth it to me. It should be to you. You can always eat organically and stuff like that, and it's going to cost a little bit more, but you're definitely going to feel better. I don't. I'm not in the financial position to be able to. I'd like to, but, there's a lot of things I'd like to be able to do like everybody else, but I can't. But, yeah, another fumble. What are you doing, Julio? Biggest thing is wanting and going to get that help. I can't stress that enough. Because, there'd be days where I couldn't even go to school because I didn't feel like getting out of bed. I just felt sick. I didn't know what it was. I just woke up and say, Mom, felt sick. And she would ask me if I was getting bullied, which I never did. I was always just cool with everybody and all that good stuff. Or I was worried about a test, which I never was. I played sports. I played baseball my whole life. Varsity all 4 years. So that was just something that would crawl in my brain. Where I'd be fine for a while, and something would crawl in my brain. I'd wake up one day and I'd be like, oh, I feel really, really bad. Looking back now, I can obviously see why. It's because of my anxiety. Unfortunately, there's a long time where I never ate breakfast, so I'd eat dinner around 5 o'clock, maybe a snack later on, try to go to sleep, which I have horrible insomnia from anxiety too, which I've worked on and failed because I let myself fail, of course, but yeah, I had horrible anxiety, so it'd take a while for me to fall asleep and then get up and go to school and not eat. So I'd go basically 16 hours without something to eat till lunchtime, and then I would scoff that down really fast. And that would be at like 11 something, and then I'd come home and maybe have a snack. And then I would wait till dinner again, and that'd be the cycle.
so athletic. They go all out for every catch. That time he just lets
But
it all go.
yeah, it'd be a
Not able to
struggle.
make the catch, but I'll give him an A for effort.
And you know, that's not how you gain weight. And I was definitely skinny. I'm still skinny, but I've gotten a lot bigger now that I've know about diet and stuff like that. You know, counting macros and your micros and all that. Just watching and reading lots of stuff, lots of information about bodybuilding, stuff like that. Which I look like no bodybuilder. But I've gotten a lot bigger than what I was, which of course as you mature you do anyways, but muscular wise and strength wise for sure, which has been a nice treat.
Guys, I just spoke with a Marshall's official. He said it was his shoulder in question. The doctors believe it is a ligament tear.
Confidence with women,
An MRI has
sky high.
In addition,
I mean,
the staff
sky
won't confirm the
high.
exact timeline for his return
Probably
right
a
now,
little too
guys,
sky
but
high.
he'll be dealing with this injury for at least a
But yeah,
couple
probably a little
weeks.
too sky high. But it's been nice to have that confidence. Because in high school, no way. I was nervous to ask somebody to a school dance. Now I would ask probably about the whole entire freaking class of women. If I was, you know, if I'd go back a few years. But yet again, I don't regret that time, because that was a hell of a learning experience in itself. Going through that and going through you know, the major changes in your body already. Ah, what a pick! Going through the changes in your body already, as well as that, and then going through all the stuff I went through once I got out of high school and into college and working at the same time, stuff like that. Girlfriend, all that good stuff. You know, girlfriend of 4 years, which was my first real, true relationship. I had plenty of small ones, but that was my first real one. So, with on top of anxiety, that didn't help much. So, it was all a learning experience, and it makes a lot of today easier. Which, like I said, what you do each day makes the future, will make your future no matter what. So, you know, keep practicing and learning and continuing to want help and get help and seek help. I guess get and seek are the same thing, but yeah, really just go and get it is important. And if I have to go back to therapy again, I for sure will. If I have to, you know, do whatever I can to continue to stay healthy so I can have a bright future ahead of me.
Now looking at third down.
It's kind of like a drug addict who goes into rehab, trying to figure out the pieces of, okay, what makes this guy tick, or what makes this woman tick, you know, and why is she, you know, what is her state of mind like, what has her childhood been like, you know, stuff like that. I mean, it's basically the same process, but it's you're not being looked down upon, essentially. I don't know if you get looked down upon in drug rehab, but never taken drugs or done, you know, none of that. So, but, you know, watching documentaries and stuff, it seems pretty similar. Or a special needs child, you know, stuff like that. And it's kind of dealing with the same stuff. And a lot of it is hereditary. So if you've seen your parents, one of your parents go through certain struggles, it's because they've dealt with it too. And maybe like for me, my realization brought a lot of realizations throughout my family. Immediate and, you know, outside, like uncles and aunts and stuff like that who've passed away and stuff, and thinking, oh man, if they could have just gotten help, maybe they wouldn't have turned, you know, for the worse. Things of that nature. Oh man, I held on the ball too long. But yeah, that is what it is. But yeah, my father's side has it all throughout, and he has it himself. I don't think it's bad as me. Maybe it was at one point. I don't know. But he said it's never been that bad. His is usually deals with when he has to travel somewhere outside of state or outside, pretty good distance. He doesn't do too well in, which I'm pretty okay with, thankfully.
Bosher is back now. He'll be punting it away.
Nice punt. But yeah, thankfully I'm okay with that aspect, and I've gotten a lot better with a lot of things. I started, before getting on medicine, developing claustrophobia too, which I never had. I never used to be claustrophobic, and I remember one time I was in the back of an SUV with my family on vacation. I was freaking out. I was like, wow, I've never done this before. And he's just breaking tackles.
We don't always get to see defensive matchups these days, but today it's been exactly that. Low-scoring game, and it's because both defenses have
I started developing that too. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I had to calm myself down. For some reason, I just wanted to stretch my legs out. It was the same thing in movie theaters. I feel claustrophobic in movie theaters because I couldn't stretch my legs out. But now, fortunately, I'm okay. Or if my shoes were too tight, I'd freak out about that. Not being able to wiggle my toes, it really strange stuff.
You get them retreating, and you can pick up a few extra yards.
We'll run it. Here's the handoff. Picks up 8
when I started driving to school, and I'd worry all day if I turned my headlights off, and sometimes, I would have I guess a friend at the time, go out and say, hey man, can you just check my car, see if my lights are off, if they were going out to the parking lot for whatever reason, to sneak out there, whatever, and check for me, and they graciously did. Or make sure my sunroof was down or my windows were up or whatever. And I worried about that all day. And then, baseball, I'd worry about if I had all my my gear, my practice uniform or the right uniform or whatever. And sometimes I would just pack everything just in case. Especially, it didn't help that my coach was a real stickler about that, but it drove me a lot more insane than the normal person, that's for sure.
It's a close game in the second half, and you're losing, but you pick up a first down. Oh my gosh, that opens up many more possibilities. What you can do on the offensive side. Good job by the offense.
The Saints take it from the 38. Pulls it in.
So just little things like that, and then eventually got to the point where it was going to NFL games or different sporting events that I love, that I'm absolutely passionate about, wrestling events, WWE events. It's not like I'm going with a stranger. I was going with my brother. It was even getting to the point where whenever I was going over to his house, to spend time, and I'd get nervous about that, and then it was going over to the girlfriend's house, be nervous about that, nervous about meeting her family, and which is a nervous time no matter what, but it's seriously over the top. Well, ex-girlfriend's family now, but yeah, it was like I said, a learning experience.
The Marshals will be on the road in Denver next week, while the Saints will be playing at home next week. They're back at the line.
I might do some more 4-1 on this.
From the gun,
while playing a game.
We'll send it back to the quarterback.
I'm no expert. It's just life experiences. I don't have a degree in it. My degree is going to be in business. But I have no degree in it. I don't Don't have just read books and watch videos and, been with one of the best, therapists and stuff like that. I mean, who's learned from the best and things of that nature, but I'm no expert at it, just dealing with it day to day. So you could take whatever it's worth. But I'm telling you, if you're struggling day to day and you notice it but you're not 100% sure what's going on, go to your doctor. Just go. Don't worry about the cost. I know it's outrageous nowadays, and the economy sucks, and all that kind of stuff, and the whole health insurance thing, and I could do another probably 2 games and talk about that, but just go. Just say F it and go. It is way more worth it than sitting there miserable, not knowing. Been there, done that.
Yeah, that was a good job that time by the defense. They were bending, they did not break, and all they did was give up a field goal.
Saints ready here for the kickoff.
Kind of close game.
And he's taken down right at about
Yeah, those are, some of my life experiences and dealing with the panic attacks and stuff like that, and waking my parents up at 3, 4 in the morning when they have work the next day or whatever, and to have their support has been awesome. I can never think, and my siblings, stuff like that, have their support. Has been a huge help. So if you can find a support system, if you do not have one, don't be afraid to explain to people if you meet new people, if you have old friends or whatever, friends for a long time. Don't be afraid to explain to them what goes on with you from a day-to-day basis. And we've fumbled the ball way too many times. But don't be afraid to explain to them. I'm very sure if they're a real friend, they will back you 100% and not look down on you about it. If you have a significant other, or looking to get one, or about to have one, whatever, let them know immediately. Tell them from the start that you've had this and that, and this is the reason I don't have this, and this is the reason I'm not able to do this, and this is, blah, blah, blah. So they know from the start what they're getting themselves into. Because it's not easy for somebody on the outside looking in, like, why, what's going on with you? What's wrong? Just explain to them to your best of ability what the hell is going on. Like, look, it has nothing to do with you. As hard as it may be, it has nothing to do with you. It's just something in my brain that I can't quite balance out. And that's it. And of course, it's hard for them to accept that because they want to help, because they care about you. But maybe get them to listen to this. I don't know.
Takes it from the gun.
It's definitely not easy to deal with.
To the outside. The catch is made.
From an interpersonal, intrapersonal aspect, or interpersonal aspect either. It's not easy to deal with at all. So don't be afraid to speak about it. That may help too. Just talking to nice pun. Just talking to somebody about it, or just telling people, hey, that I go through this on a day-to-day basis. I have this. No, I don't take medicine. Yes, I do take medicine. I also do this, and this, and some people find it flattering. If you're talking to somebody and trying to date them. Some people might find it flattering that you're taking such steps to better yourself, and it might even help them out because they might be going through something inner themselves. And then I'd be like, hey, you know what? I've been dealing with the same kind of thing. Or they tell you about they feel more comfortable telling you about their story, and it makes for a really good conversation, and a long conversation. You don't have to, you don't have to think of nothing. You just keep talking about that. And it can definitely make for a good conversation. That's for sure.
It's now second down. The Marshals line up in the pistol.
You can joke about it. You can whatever you want to. Way overthrown. You can be like, hey, we're just, two peas in a pod, a screwed up couple. High five. Nah, there's nothing wrong with anybody with a mental disability. Everybody's got something, like I said before. It's just how you deal with it is what makes the person, really. Everybody deals with it in their own way, but doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way.
So forget the punt, they're going to go for it. Freeman's in the backfield, single back set. The Marshals will take the snap from the 30.
I know drugs are definitely not the answer, because that's just going to make the problem 10 times worse when you try to get off the drugs and fix the problem. And, then you lose family members and blah, blah, blah. And so please don't take that route.
Because they picked it up. Good job by the offense.
First down at the 32. Freeman's going to take the hand.
I've heard weed can help a lot, blah, 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 whatever. It's more natural and all that, which, if that's what you want to do and try out, I guess go ahead, since they're legalizing it all now, so you don't get incriminated, because that can make everything worse. That's never been my thing. I took the medicine route, which is technically drugs. It's a controlled substance. But I don't take more than I'm supposed to. I can function normally. I can drive. I'm not under the influence. I can, all that good stuff, which is of course nice. Whereas if you're under the influence of weed, you can't really go anywhere. I mean, you can, but if you got caught, you're screwed.
First down here after the completion. We're late in the fourth, and the offense is just trying to sit on the lead. And now he'll take off. Incomplete. Great coverage there by the defense.
Drives coach, it's crazy. They get a wide receiver
But
down the field on a post route,
and some people have a natural tendency to be a hermit. I kind of always had that natural tendency to, not be afraid to just chill at home at nights and stuff like that, whatever. But definitely make a point to go out and socialize, or go out and get some fresh air, go for a drive, go for a walk, whatever it may be. It's really, the sunlight can really help too. Give you the vitamin E, vitamin D. That's definitely important. Even in the winter time, make sure that I, get out, get some fresh air. Just enjoy that fresh air. And get out and socialize during the weekend. Not every weekend. It's hard to do that every weekend with the way prices and stuff are, but that's a beautiful touchdown. But yeah, definitely make sure you get out and socialize and work on that socialization aspect, because that can really help you move forward in whatever quest you're trying to move forward with, or whatever battles you're dealing with inside. Just talking to people, even if you know, and people are gonna judge, and it's just, you know, human nature. People are gonna judge you. People are gonna, and then that's when you find out who you can surround yourself with and who you kick to the curb. You drop kick them right outside that door. Lord knows I've had to do it many times. And now it's just gotten easier and easier to drop people. You know, I can't really have the negativity type in my life. So as soon as people start bringing a negative attitude around me, they're pretty much out. I like having positivity around me and like having fun. And I need to because of my anxiety. You know, the whole yelling and screaming aspect can really screw with me. Which does a lot of anxiety, people with anxiety and people with depression too. A lot of people with depression are used to it. And that's what they expect. You know, it's not a good expectation. Oh, excuse me. It's not a good expectation at all.
Breeze is going to take it from the shotgun. Looking to go deep. And that's
good swat.
Almost had the interception.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to have an expectation of negativity. And anxiety can happen to people with anxiety too, that they're expecting the negative, and that's a horrible way to go about it. Sometimes it's as simple as putting a smile on your face, and just forcing that smile, and just holding it there.
He's looking to the right here on this throw. They'll turn it over on downs.
I learned a lot from Elliot Hulse about different things, and learning about the nervous system, stuff like that. How you can be blocked off in certain areas in your chakras and stuff like that, which I also learned from my therapist, which going into it, I had already learned about it from Elliot Hulse at the Strength Camp channel and his Elliot Hulse channel, which he no longer runs, but you can still watch his old videos. A lot of good information. A lot of people don't agree with him. A lot of people do. I go right in between usually. But I usually agree with a lot of his stuff, especially learning the aspects of the things that he's talked about.
The defense has got to be a little aggressive here. Your team
and his is just life experiences too, which I think is probably one of the most important aspects of giving out information is being through it. So what I've learned is definitely to, like I said, express yourself and tell people about it, because then you, or you know, tell your friends, or do what I'm doing right now, telling viewers, however many that may be. It could be 2, it could be 20, it could be 200,000 eventually, I don't know, but you know, it doesn't really matter. But you know, just don't be afraid to tell people that you have this condition. This is why I am who I am. This is why I don't do certain things, or I do certain things, or I you know, why it's taking me this long to do this, or why some days it's hard for me to get out of bed, which luckily I haven't had those days in a long time, and I'm hoping not to have those days for another very long time. Ooh, good cut. But yeah, probably gonna call the doctors today, tomorrow, whatever you want to call it, and get my inhaler straightened out, so maybe that'll help me out even more. Minimizing the caffeine, stuff like that can spike me up real good, which I haven't been doing. That's a bad habit. Caffeine. Oh, I'm a soda drinker. It's bad. And a coffee drinker. Don't do energy drinks, though. Definitely don't do energy drinks.
The Saints come out for the next possession.
I have a next that was drinking lots of energy drinks, and she ended up having A-type migraine, which caused stroke symptoms. And that was a crazy time to see somebody go through that just from a drink. Those things are really, really bad for you. Coffee is a much more natural thing, depending on what you get. Of course. There's a lot of processed coffee out there too. Which is what most of us drink anyways. But you know, you can try and minimize it to the best of your ability. Well, hopefully, wow, terrible stats. Hopefully, people check this video out and can, you know, listen to me, and maybe somebody's going through something that they're like, hey, you know what, maybe I do need to go. That'd be awesome for me. So, if you do, Godspeed, and hope you get full recovery. That's for damn sure, and work towards it. But I'm Flex Johnson. That was another game with the San Antonio Marshals beat the New Orleans Saints, using the Falcons team with some minor changes with the free agency and all that kind of stuff, picking up a new quarterback and everything. But alright, people, Flex Johnson out. I'll catch your asses down the road. Peace.